Welcome to the Dr. Vibe Show. And it is Dr. Vibe, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show. As always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. And one of the areas that a lot of people ask me about, and I hear about people wanting to get into these days, is coaching. Well, we have the right person at the right time to talk to you about the profession of coaching. Because the other day someone came to me and go, "Oh, I'm a certified coach." I go, "Did you take any courses?" No. So we're going to get this right. The special friend we have on the Dr. Vibe Show today is Stephen Quiguez. He's a co-founder and director of the Coach Training Academy. The Coach Training Academy is a professional international coach federation accredited coach training school. Graduates have gone on to build both very successful solo coaching practices, as well as taking their coaching skills to corporate positions, including Microsoft, Google, and NASA, just to name a few. His first career was a professional musician, having attended the Juilliard School, great institution, playing various orchestras, and a university lecturer. After leaving music, he then went on to build one of the largest dental software companies in North America, and after selling that, followed his life's passion of helping others, dedicating himself to his core philosophy that, quote, "No one breezes through life. We all have our own unique struggles. With the right support and environment, everyone can live life with a purpose, passion, and often exceeding what they think is possible for themselves." He's a life testament of that philosophy. So folks, we've got the man. We got the man to talk today about do people need coach training to be coaches? We are blessed and highly favored to have Steve Quiguez on our show. Welcome, Steve. How are you?
Oh, thank you so much. I am fantastic. This is exciting for me.
Excellent. Is coach training valuable?
Absolutely. And I can actually attest to this personally, because in my story of becoming a coach, I said I'd sold the business, and then I'd looked at starting some other business. So I hired a coach, and he kept on saying, "Oh, you should be a coach. You should be a coach." Great. So I put my shingle up. I'm a coach now. You told me I should be a coach, so I will take that advice saying I will be a coach. And I coached for a couple of years. Did I really coach? That is really the question. How good of a coach was I? Did I really coach? I would say I was a good consultant. I was good at analyzing problems, and I was good at telling people what to do. I was, I've always been pretty, I think, creative and being able to solve a lot of problems. And so I was good at that, and I kind of thought that was coaching. And then I thought, maybe there's more to this. Maybe to this coaching thing, and maybe I should take a couple classes or a course, etc. And so that's what I did. I signed up, and wow, did that open my eyes. What I thought was coaching, what I thought I was doing was coaching, was maybe 10, 20% coaching. How I was actually getting in my client's way came very apparent. And so the value that I learned at actually learning and even understanding that there was actually a coaching structure was shocking to me. I thought it was just, as I call it, my Starbucks conversation. I think we all sit down with our family, friends. We sit down Starbucks and this is not going well, this is not going well, and we have these ongoing conversations. And we say, "Well, have you tried this? Have you tried that?" And we have these conversations, and we think that is coaching. Now, to a certain extent, that may be 20% of coaching or 10% of coaching, and we have developed some skills, but that is not professional coaching. And in a lot of cases, it can actually be detrimental to our clients. So absolute value. And for me, I learned it just like a lot of other people. Usually the thought doesn't come to most people, well, maybe I'll become a coach. Let me just sign up for coach training. We all come to coach training because we have some experience working with people, seeing some positive benefits, that sometimes being really turned on by that, by our friends going, "Wow, you're amazing. That's been so helpful. You should be a coach." And then we become coaches. Is there places to grow from there? Absolutely.
Well done. What is wrong with just coaching and helping people? I think you alluded a little bit in your previous comments, but I would like you to delve a little bit deeper between the difference in coaching and helping people.
I think there's several different areas where we can get in our friends, clients, people's ways unintentionally. I mean, we have good intentions for doing this, but we can. So one of the things that we do as coaches is we want to have something called a know-nothing state. And what I mean by that is we need to take our assumptions about the person that we're talking to and not filter it through our beliefs around what that person needs to do. So if we're someone says, I'm really struggling with my health, I need to lose 30, 40 pounds, I'm breathing heavy, I don't get to play with my kids as much as I want, we're filtering this through our own minds. What did we do possibly when we had this? And then what we can do is then tell our clients, well, for me, what I found that really worked well was I'd go to the gym, I would do Zumba classes, I would cut out fats and sugars, I would do this, I would do this, as if we're the example that they should be following. Just do this and everything will be fine, is what happens. Now, what I've done now is a couple things. I could have created massive resistance. So one of the things that we learn in coaching is sometimes we don't even know this, but we could be creating resistance. So there could even be some people on the line that when I gave them my solution was, go to the gym, take some Zumba, don't eat sugar, stop eating fats, they're going, yeah, I tried that. Doesn't work. No, I don't like that. There's resistance. And this is one of the things that happens a lot when we tell people what to do, is that we've now set up a paradigm of resistance, which can get in the way unintentionally, but that can happen. And, if I'm coaching for that, I certainly don't want to set up that resistance. I'm very sincere in this worked for me. Maybe it can work for you. But I've left that state of know nothing, of having my assumptions, to where a coach goes, well, explain to me, what are your thoughts about improving your health? What are your thoughts around losing some weight? What do you think are processes that might really work for you? So one of the things that I think of for myself is I don't want to pollute or get in the way of my clients before I've really explored their ideas. Because even if they don't have that resistance that I had mentioned earlier, I could also put my ideas into their head. So how about going to the gym? Yeah, okay. Well, they may have a better idea. The best thing for them, if I said, so what are your ideas around exercise? They could go, I thought about doing this thing about going on 3 or 4 hikes every week. I'll get my friends or my partner and we'll go on some hikes. So I don't want to get in the way of my client solving their problem the way that they see it with mine, because who knows, theirs could be much better than the way that I see it.
It must be hard then, especially if as a coach, especially if you're starting out, to not put your thoughts out there. Because and it's hard because we as human beings think of ourselves first.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
And it's must be challenging, especially for coaches in their early state, to look at that principle and give that person the space. Let them tell you.
Oh, absolutely. And I kind of chuckle because it is all of our kind of difficulty that we have as coaches, because when people say something, I'm no different than anyone else. When someone says, I want to become in better health, I go immediately to what I did. It goes through my head. However, through my training, I know I'm not serving my client. So I have an automatic reaction, and then I know where I'm going to go from this. But we all struggle with this in coaching. And it is something, that we all bear, understanding, though, that if we really want to help our clients with their lives, with the way that they process, is that we need to really stop ourselves from doing that. And the better we are, the more it really turns, the more educated, the more creative we are, the more problem solving and successful we are, the more of a struggle we have. And this is kind of interesting because, when it comes with more experience, more creativity, etc., we have more things that we can offer our clients as far as solutions. And it's even harder for those of us that do that to keep our mouths quiet. One of my mentors and trainers would always say, as coaches, especially when we start off, we have to learn to bite our tongues. And for a lot of us, we have very, very bloody tongues. And I can say I've had to clamp down on mine many times. One of the things that, and this is a very good example. I would say that the profession that we have that comes into coaching, would be therapists. About 10% of our school attracts licensed psychotherapists, counselors, social workers, etc., that want to learn specific coaching skills to either move away from therapy, or maybe they want to add that on as something that they could do. And they come in for training. And by far, they struggle the most with not giving advice, because that is what they're trained to do. They're trained to do an analysis and then to give people advice and different ideas how to do that. And I've had more than one therapist just really struggle with this. Some have actually hired me privately to work specifically on how they can get over this issue of giving advice, because it is something that is just natural. It just comes to us. You got a problem? Have you tried this before? It just comes out like breathing. Very simple.
Just building on what you said about therapists coming in, etc., is there a difference between therapy and coaching?
Great question, and something that we cover in the course, and all good coach training schools will cover this, because it's really important for us to know the person who comes to us that we're sitting across from, what is the modality or what is going to best serve them. And just because someone has an issue, it doesn't mean coaching is the best solution for them, or therapy, or training, or mentoring, or consulting. And so part of the training is to really understand what all these different processes are. And then when we sit across from a potential client, get to know what is the right aspect for them. So I can address this between a therapeutic processing and coaching, probably just to start there. So now I'm going to make a big generalization here. So if we have some therapists listening to this, you're going to argue and go, well, that's not the way I do therapy. So I'm going to give this to you. I'm making a big generalization for how some therapists do it. But a lot of times therapists look at causation. Let's look at your life. Let's look at your experience of life. What caused you to get here? If we go back and explore these experiences, some of the trauma, the relationships, what happened, we look at through more, instead of a child eyes, we may go back and look at it through your child eyes, but then we'll go through a maturity process, an adult process of looking at now from an adult. We get more understanding around it, that now we help our therapeutic clients get to a level playing field, homeostasis, to a level area where now they can go and they aren't being held back by all these past beliefs. So the domain for a lot of therapists is the past. Where are you now and what caused you to get here? Again, a generalization, but that's a fairly good one. The coach's domain is, where are you now and where do you want to go? So what's happening in your life now? Where are you feel held back? Where are you not being your best? And then where would you like to go? If we look 3 months, 6 months, a year, 5 years, where do you see your life taking you? Where do you want it to be? What is getting in our way? And also, what is the process for getting there? Because for everything that we do, success, we require two things for success. One is motivation, or I could call that energy. We need some energy to get ourselves in somewhere, but we also need a process to get there. what are the steps that are involved to getting that? And this doesn't matter whether you want to be, a professional musician. There's certain steps. If you look at that, that's what the person through. If you want to be the next $1 million real estate earner in your city, there's certain steps and processes that you go through. If you want to change careers, there's certain steps and processes you're doing that. Now, on the way, we're all going to have our issues and challenges. And that's where coaching comes in. A really good example just kind of popped into my head is how many companies have sales training? We send off people to be trained in sales. We do symposiums and seminars and webinars in sales. We read books in sales. And the company goes, good, now I trained everyone in sales. They're going to go off and make their sales and the end of it. Not so fast, because what happens a lot of times, especially in sales, is people know what they should be doing, but they don't do it. They know to be good in real estate, they need to make 25 cold calls per day, let's say. They need to book so many appointments per day. But what do they find themselves doing? They come in, they sit down at their office, let me check my email, what's going on in Facebook, what's doing here, oh, I better go and talk to so-and-so about this. And they find themselves avoiding certain things. Now, this is where coaching comes in, where we can kind of pull the covers back. The client knows what they should be doing, but for whatever reasons, it could be fear, it could be insecurities, it's not having their script right, not knowing what to do, they don't do it. And so now what happens is we're complicating the matter. Oh, I didn't make my sales goal. I'm not making enough money. Maybe I should change careers. I'm not good enough. And so now we go down these paths too. And this is where the coaches shine. This is our place to help our clients work. And that's a perfect example of what happens to a lot of us.
Fantastic. When do you think someone is ready to think about becoming a coach?
Well, I think that, the very basic, if someone should become a coach is you want to be able to try and help other people. You get a charge, you get excited. And this doesn't, it doesn't matter where you come from. If this is something that you in church or you in your job, you help people, you're there for other people, and you get excited by that and people are appreciative, you have that spark. I think that's where everyone that comes into coaching starts off from. They have that spark of excitement. And I think that is really the best. That's where you want to start off, to know that that's where you go. Certainly, one of the other things, and this can be one of the reasons that people maybe hold themselves back from coach training, is that everyone has some degree of coaching skills. Anyone who has a heartbeat that is a human being has had a conversation with someone who said, great idea, thank you. And they go off, and we get that shot of feeling good. We get that, that shot of adrenaline or dopamine, and we go, oh, wow, that was cool. I want to do that more. And so this is what usually happens is we have some natural talent and some more than others, with the belief that now that we should be able to go and put up our shingles and say, Steve Kegis, professional coach, and off we go. And so this is one of the things that sometimes holds us back from doing that. So I think the first thing is just have realization that you enjoy doing this, it's exciting to help people, etc. Then you want to look at, how confident are you in coaching people? Here's the thing when people call me and they ask me about this that I ask them to explore. Because there's a difference between sitting with your friends, relatives, coworkers at Starbucks and helping them with a problem, then someone says, I want to hire you as my coach, and you say, certainly, that'll be $100 an hour, $200 an hour, $500 an hour, which some coaches do charge. Where is your confidence level to be able to take that client's problem and feel confident that you have the ability to help them move forward and achieve their goal? Now, in coaching, are we going to be 100%, guarantees that we can help clients? No. It's the same with therapy, everything else. Can a doctor cure people? No. And we certainly can't do that in coaching. But if we have enough tools, if we have a good enough process, then when someone comes to me and they want to do a career change, or they're overwhelmed, they haven't had time to write their book, they haven't been able to lose weight or fix a problem in a relationship, through my training, if I'm going to say yes to someone, I need to have high confidence that I'm going to take money in exchange for what they expect, that I can meet that. And I think that's another evaluation that people, if they're looking at entering coaching as a career and they're trying to, well, do I need training? Do I not? Where's your confidence level, for what you're charging, and even if it's free, where's your confidence level that you are doing your client the best that you can?
Well, Steve, first of all, we'd like to thank you for sharing with the audience. Really great stuff. It's appreciated.
Absolutely. I'm passionate about the coaching.
Steve, as always, like to say thank you for taking the time in your Positive Productive coaching schedule and Positive Productive schedule. If people want to find out more about the Coach Training Academy, what should they do?
A couple things. First of all, you can go to our website. It's thecoachtrainingacademy.com. And you can give us a call. And that is area code 360-312-7372. That's 360-312-7372. And if you just leave a message with your name, date, and time, someone will get back to you as soon as possible.
That's fantastic. So as always, it's Dr. Vibe here. I'd like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. And as always, remember, sometimes you have to get smaller to get stronger. Thanks for listening.